28K in 12 months is very impressive.
When I started, I was lost. I figured out I want to make money from home. I thought I was going to start a SaaS agency, but I really had no direction at all. So learning service delivery from you guys, or learning like what services to provide, is huge. And then I'd say a big part of it is community. I do much better when I'm in a community of like-minded people. I don't have any friends who run agencies, but I've made a bunch of friends in the agency space from Affluent.
Can you give us a glimpse to what you're promoting?
So we do everything from like UGC style videos to image ads. We generate the leads, we contact and qualify every lead, and then we book their appointment for them, and then just providing that service rather than just selling a cut and dry product.
What's the next 12 months look like? Have you set some targets?
I want to hit 50K by the end of Q2, which I think is definitely doable. Might have to add some team members, and then also just continue to build positive and fruitful relationships with my clients. You know, you want to have good relationships with the people that you're working with.
What's up, guys? So today we are joined by Winston from Tapped Agency. Now, Winston is a member of the Affluent Academy, and he's had some monumental growth. It's gone from pretty much 0 to 28K a month in about 12 months, which is mental. So I want to unpack that today. So Winston, thanks for jumping on, man. I know it's been a long time coming, us getting this together.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Cool. So can you give people the backstory on what brought you to starting the agency in the first place?
Yeah. Okay. Do you want like the long version or the kind of shortened down version?
Well, let's do the briefer version, and then we unpack anything that's particularly interesting about it.
Cool. All right. So long story short, live in Los Angeles, California. For the past like 10 years, I've worked in television and film production as an assistant director and stage manager. I'm a member of the Directors Guild of America. The TV industry took a little bit of a weird turn after COVID. Production companies overspent, then like stopped making as many projects, yada yada. So I figured out I want to figure out how to make some money from home. So I got into first high ticket closing, and then from there I was like kind of working for a marketing company, doing some closing for them, and I realized like, hey, I feel like I could kind of do this myself, and then found the world of SMMA and started my agency from there. Really had no clue what I was doing. I saw, tons of YouTube videos, thought I was going to start a SaaS agency, thought I was going to, do who knows what. And, but I really had no direction at all. And that's when I joined Affluent Academy. And basically you kind of were like, just from the course and learning from you directly and the other members is, okay, SaaS isn't probably the way I want to go. I want to go ads and appointment booking, that kind of stuff. And so that's how I dove into the agency world.
Nice, man. Love it. Then you've managed to scale very quickly. So did you initially start off with outreach? Because I know at the moment you're running ads, which I'd like to unpack. What did the initial growth look like? Did you grow quickly, or did you have initial struggles in the early stages? What did that look like?
I think just like most agency owners just starting off, growth was slow in the beginning. Primary acquisition channel was just cold calls. I didn't really focus on cold email or cold DMs, that kind of stuff. I just focused on cold calls because that's kind of what I knew. I knew sales a little bit. So just ripped a bunch of cold calls every day, trying to land clients. Started with a scattergun approach, going from all different kinds of different niches. Finally landed a couple clients. At one point in the beginning, I had 5 clients in 5 different niches, and that was, it was good, but it was a little bit hectic. Running very different kind of campaigns and different services for each one of them. And then down the line a little bit, I decided to niche down. Decided where I want to go, who I can help the most, what kind of businesses make the most sense to work with, and then from there niche down and started running paid ads, and then that's my primary acquisition channel. But yeah, definitely in the beginning it was cold outreach, and it was painful, but it was necessary. I think you need to cut your teeth a little bit getting started and learn the ins and outs.
Yeah, 100%. I agree, man. Do you think that your experience in high ticket sales was the unfair advantage that propelled you forward to grow so quickly?
I think that had a big part to do with it because, I was used to selling on Zoom and going through like an actual sales process. I knew tonality. And so I think that was definitely an unfair advantage. I don't know about unfair advantage because a lot of people have sales experience, but it's definitely helpful. Like if I was an agency owner starting off, yes, I would buy Affluent Academy, and I'd also buy some sort of sales coaching. Whether you're learning how to do cold calls better or actual sales calls and demo calls, it's super valuable to know how to sell, to know tonality, to know what questions to ask and what you're looking for. Like really, to me, sales isn't about like selling the product. It's about finding what they need and how you can help them, and then just providing that service rather than just selling a cut and dry product.
Yeah. I mean, it's the mistake that most new agencies make, right? They jump on a call and they're just forcing their service down the client's throat. They skip through the discovery stage on identifying pain, and they go straight into, hey, look at this shiny lead gen thing that I've figured out. And oh, look at this new appointment setting system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's always the place people go before they learn that we're really just selling solutions. Yeah. So then you have evolved from running or doing cold calls to now running ads for the agency. And I've noticed recently, I mean, I think you put a post out in the community only a couple of weeks ago. You signed up like 4 clients in the space of 2 weeks. How have you found the process of transitioning from cold outreach to ads? Was that a difficult learning curve? Did you find that you were getting good quality leads in very quickly?
It was, no, I did not find that I was getting good quality leads in very quickly. And that's why, especially as a new agency owner, I wouldn't recommend running ads right away because you're going to burn through a lot of money. Like you should have some money saved up so you can learn how to actually do it and get quality clients. So I didn't find success right away is a short answer to that. But yeah, you mentioned, I signed 4 clients in a matter of a week. And so that actually happened on like 2 different occasions. I signed 5 clients last week, and then like 4 clients maybe 2 weeks before that. 4 of those clients in the past week actually came from a referral. So that's one thing that I definitely recommend is do right by your clients. Like people are paying you money, so obviously give them a great service. But if you do right by your clients and you provide them a great service and you provide them great communication and just get them good results, they'll pay you back with more than your monthly retainer or monthly service fee. So that's a big thing that I've focused a lot on is build positive and fruitful relationships with your clients so that you can get those referrals. So that you're not just relying on paid ads.
100%. It will then start to compound.
Absolutely.
So you followed our advice and went on to did scattergun first of all. So for everyone else, the context, that's going for multiple different niches to find out what niche is going to be best to you. I presume without naming your niche, you haven't had experience in that industry before. You've never worked with that industry.
That's correct. And we could talk about my niche later if we want, but I think that for young agency owners to go online and say, hey, this guy is running ads or this guy is being successful in this niche, I don't think it's that helpful actually, because it makes the most sense to figure out what niche is going to work for you, for who you can serve. Do research, like figure out the TAM or the total addressable market, right? Figure out who sells services that warrant spending money on advertisements. Find out who can benefit from the services that you can provide, rather than just going on YouTube and seeing like, oh, this guy is in real estate, this guy is in HVAC, this guy's in roofing. Figure it out for yourself, because that's what's going to get you better results.
Mm-hmm. And great advice, but did you early on establish that was the right niche for you because of the service? That was very clear that you were getting better results for that niche. Like what ended up being your deciding factor on just focusing on that one industry?
Yeah, I think one of the big deciding factors was, or a few, it's kind of what I just mentioned, is find out an industry that has a lot of people that you can serve, right? Because so you can capture a very small portion of that niche and still do very well. find out who has high ticket services that makes sense for them to advertise. Like one of my early clients, still a client to this day because they're an awesome client, was a really high-end hair salon. But for most like hair salons, it doesn't really make a ton of sense to run advertisements and to pay an agency to run those ads, right? But then other like people, a lot of people are in roofing, but like that makes sense because that's a very high ticket service. People need to run advertisements, so people click on them and then you book their appointments. So finding out who you can serve, finding out what service you can provide, and then who you can provide that service to in a big enough market is really the way I would go.
Nice, nice. What point in the agency did you see that things started to take off? Did you find slow progress in, say, 0 to 10K, and then now you're signing 5 clients in the space of a week? Like, presumably your growth rate has increased pretty considerably. At what point would you say that was, and what would you contribute that to?
Well, I would say that the real point where I was able to grow a lot is when I started running paid ads for my own client acquisition. You're just able to get your business out to so many more people than if you're cold calling, or even if you had a team of cold callers, like if you hired VAs or whatever. So running paid ads was really the main turning point, I would say. But then again, if you're a new agency owner, don't jump into running ads until you know you can provide a good service. Otherwise, if you can't provide a good service and you're telling people that you can, to me that's really dishonest. And you want to make sure that you can get your clients good results rather than just being a turn and burn agency.
Agree. And also, presumably, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, the main strategy that we use as agency owners to really get the best cost per lead on our ads is by utilizing previous client results. So did you from day one leverage previous client results on your ads, or did you go straight in with a direct offer? What was your first strategy?
Yeah, I went pretty much straight in with a direct offer to yeah, pretty much just went in with a direct offer. Didn't really leverage client results. I felt a little bit weird about saying like, hey, this company is doing XYZ with our program, because then like I don't really want potential clients reaching out to those people and taking up their time. I want my clients focused on the appointments and the deals that we're bringing them, rather than getting bombarded with like getting, reached out by potential clients.
Makes sense.
So I kind of went direct offer, and then of course, went on a demo call. That's when you can pull up past results and show and really prove yourself in a way.
Yeah, interesting. Well, that's interesting, man. Normally my advice is get the case studies on there, and there's plenty of proof for that. But you being able to run a direct offer to the industry goes against that, and that's really cool. You are obviously running a good offer to those clients. Have you got a guarantee on the front end of the ads, or is it just pure? Can you give us a glimpse or an idea as to what you're promoting?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't do a guarantee just because it's hard. Like, of course it's hard, but a lot of agencies run big guarantees that they can't really fulfill on. Or don't fulfill on, or there's a lot of contingencies in the service agreement, or all this kind of stuff. So what I run is a done for you offer. We create and manage and run your advertisements. So we do everything from like UGC style videos to image ads. So we create and run the ads. We generate the leads. We contact and qualify every lead. So I have a team that picks up the phone and calls every single lead within 2 minutes to qualify them. And then we book their appointment for them. And we also do the follow-up and reminder messages so that the businesses aren't worrying about no shows or following up. I think that that's kind of where the future of agencies lie, which is rather done for you rather than just Facebook ads and go figure it out yourself.
100% agree. I think the appointment setting piece is essential now. Have you plugged AI into the appointment setting side?
Yeah, love. I use a Pointwise. I don't know if I'm allowed to shout out.
Yeah,
there, but I use a Pointwise. It's fantastic service. But it's more of a backup for me. I use real people to make these calls. But a
I think
Pointwise
that's
and AI is fantastic.
I believe that's a superior. I mean, as you already know, I rave a lot about a Pointwise, and the Pointwise is a great foundational piece. Stacking the human setters on the back end of that is the ultimate, and really the best appointment setting agencies, that is what they're doing, but not wasting the appointment setters' time on doing all the messaging, because that's time consuming, and you'd rather they be sitting on the phones, getting the best conversions there.
100%, 100%.
Nice. Can you give us an idea of like some of the KPI, some of the benchmarks that you're currently running on your ad? So what kind of cost per booked call are you getting at the moment? And then on the back end, what are you converting them on?
Yeah, great. So cost per booked call is right around, I think like $60 to $80, depending. It can go up, it can go down, kind of depending on the year or the time of the year. And then I do a 2-call close. So I run ads, someone opts in, call them immediately, go through an intro to make sure that they'd be a good fit, that we're not wasting time on the demo call. And once we get them to the demo call, closing around 40 to 55%.
Nice, very nice. On the second call?
On the second call, correct.
Nice, love it. That's cool, man. That's very scalable. That's exciting. Talking of scale, then, what's the bottleneck right now? And why not just crank the ads? What situation are you in?
Oh, the bottleneck right now, I would say, is team. I've got lead management covered. My callers are great. They're really helpful. They take care of all the leads I need. I would say the other bottleneck would be like onboarding, because it does take a while to onboard clients, to do the onboarding meeting, to create their ads, to get them A2P approved, which is like a whole nother beast right now, but we're still pretty good at that. Yeah, so I think just right now the bottleneck would be team, adding new members who can take a little bit more work off my plate, because right now, other than lead management, I'm pretty much doing it all.
Fine. Okay, so you've got your fingers in all the pies still.
Yeah.
And give us an idea of what the team looks like. So have you got a media buying team? Have you got a media buyer and then appointment setters? Is it just as simple as that for now?
So right now, no media buyer. I'm doing that all myself. I am kind of in the market for a media buyer. So if you're a media buyer and you see this, reach out to me. Shoot me a DM on Instagram at Winston W. Churchill, and we'll talk. I'll be happy to dive into that. So media buyer is kind of probably the next hire, but right now it's just cold call, or not cold call, but call center team.
Nice. That's cool. That's exciting. And just diving into your experience with the academy a little bit. So it's nice to get a nice clear picture for everyone on where you're at right now, and how you've managed to get up to the point that you're at, which is, I'm sure, very inspirational for many people watching this, because 28K in 12 months is very impressive. Which part of the process for you do you think that had the most impact on your journey when it came to us specifically at the academy?
Yeah. Okay. So a couple things, because when I started, I was lost. Like, I had no clue what I was doing. I just thought I wanted to run an agency. Joined the academy, learned a lot. Like, service delivery is huge. I think so many people, like especially YouTube videos or whatever, they're always talking about like, hey, this is how you get clients for your agency, but no one's really talking about actually delivering a service, running ads, getting your clients appointments, using AI on the back end to help them out. So learning service delivery from you guys, or learning like what services to provide, is huge. Sales was big. Like, I definitely got some help with sales, even though I had experience before. And then I'd say a big part of it is community. I mean, I do much better when I'm in a community of like-minded people. I don't have any friends who run agencies like from real life, but I've made a bunch of friends in the agency space from Affluent, and then also, yeah, just being a part of a community of other people who are running a business and who are going through similar issues to you. And then also, to be honest here, like, I'm competitive, so I like to be ringing the bell in the group, and
Yeah. You're smashing the bell at the moment, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
How did you find the one-to-one process?
The one-to-one process was great. I mean, I had a great coach. He was helpful. He was obviously much further ahead in the agency game than I was, and so learning from him was definitely helpful. Like, getting one-on-one is great, because, you know, like group calls and group meetings are cool and you can learn a lot, but you know, if you get a question and then, you know, the question moves to the next person, you might have follow-up questions. You might have other questions that you need help with. So having that one-on-one help was awesome. Like definitely something that I enjoyed.
Nice, man. Good. I'm really glad to hear it. I see you got a lot of books behind you right now. But are there any of those books? What would be the top 3 books that you'd recommend someone to read off that shelf?
Top 3, Ultra Learning, Scott H. Young, great one. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, great for sales. What else? Skin of the Game, Nassim Taleb, very interesting. 48 Laws of Power, just a great book overall. And then I'm rereading Atomic Habits right now, and I highly recommend Atomic Habits.
Nice. Yeah, Atomic Habits is a staple. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
You got some classics there as well. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. I can see that.
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
Nice, man. I love it. You mentioned friends in the academy. Interested to hear, you said you haven't got any friends outside of that. You've got an agency. Do you have entrepreneur friends outside in your normal everyday life, or is
Yeah, I've got a couple, like 2 main good friends who are entrepreneurs as well. But outside of that, pretty much everyone has a normal job and,
yeah,
you know, W-2 or whatever. So
how the people around you had reacted to your quick growth?
I mean, it's pretty cool. Like I, you know, it's funny. Like I'm competitive in the group. Like I like ringing the bell and whatever, but I don't brag too much about it with my friends. But you know, they definitely think it's cool, and like my family's definitely think it's cool, and my parents are proud. So yeah,
I'm glad. Where's the path? Where are we going now? What's the next 12 months look like? Have you set some targets?
Yeah, I mean, so I like to set quarterly targets. I just think it's a little bit more manageable for me. Like, you know, 3 months from now, I want to be here. So, you know, just getting started with Q2. I want to hit 50K by the end of Q2, which I think is definitely doable. Might have to add some team members, which I'm happy about too, because it takes more work off my plate. But really, main goals are, I want to hit 50K by the end of the Q2, and then also just continue to build positive and fruitful relationships with my clients. That was one of my main goals in Q1, and I've done well. And, you know, even if like it just is great, you know, you want to have good relationships with the people that you're working with. And, you know, if someone is getting like results below KPI, you're much more likely to keep them if you are talking to them, if you're working with them, if you have a good relationship with them. So those are my 2 big ones. Is I guess 3 maybe is 50K, bring on more team members, and continue to have great relationships with my clients.
Nice, man. I think it's something I was speaking about yesterday on the Q&A. Actually, it's people underestimate or people overestimate the responsibility that they have for their clients, and underestimate the power of having really candid conversations with their clients about their responsibilities in it as well. Because like, you can take a business so far, but they've also got to do the same. You can book them a load of appointments. Sometimes you can book one business 10 appointments, another business 10 appointments, completely different conversion rates on the back end. But being willing to have those conversations as an agency is the difference between keeping the client and not, because of the trust that you build there.
100% agree. And not only is it about the trust, but also like, you kind of sometimes need to coach business owners about best practices. Like for example, like when we're booking leads for my clients or booking appointments for my clients, we have a 22 touch point system. Follow up. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I coach my clients on this as well. Is if you go to an appointment, don't expect someone to call you and say, hey, I'm super interested, I want to buy this. Follow up with them, get that deal closed, like put some extra effort in and show the client that you care, so that, you know, they work with you.
Yeah,
100%. And so I definitely, you know, enjoy that part of the process of working with clients and helping them, you know, become better business owners themselves.
the more you get involved in the solution, the more irreplaceable you are, the lower your churn will be, the more referrals you get. There's nothing bad that comes from getting into bed with the clients.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I pride myself on basically almost 0% churn rate month over month. Every once in a while, you know, maybe a client will lose off, but churn rate is almost zero.
Yeah. Well,
and that helps. That just helps with growth too. You know, it's much harder to grow when you're losing clients every month.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah. Very cool. What would you say to someone that was in your position 12 months ago who's kind of on the fence about jumping in, starting an agency, maybe even thinking about joining us?
Don't do it. No, I'm kidding. No, start an agency. Like, become a business owner. Like, it's so freeing to not have a boss or not, you know, be beholden to one single company. No one can fire me. You know, I could possibly lose a little money if a client churns, but I'm not getting fired from the agency. But one thing I will say is it's easy to watch a lot of YouTube videos and think, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. Like, I've got this. Be prepared to do hard work and work for 12 hours a day and grind and like have huge ups and downs. Like the highs are high, the lows are low. Just be prepared for that. Be prepared for the highs and lows, and be prepared to put in the work, because the work that you put in is what you're going to get out.
Yeah, 100%.
And final thing, this is like a quote from Hormozy. He says, a lot of people don't see success because they're not willing to eat shit for a year, basically, right? Like, be willing to not get results, or you have very little results for up to a year, because basically once you hit like almost at your point, you kind of know what's going on, and that's when you can really grow and scale.
Yeah, it's not, people can't compare themselves and expect the exact same result that you have generated. I always say that your business started way before you decided to start an agency. It's all that hard work that you put in learning to be a high ticket closer and doing the stuff that probably led you to that point in the first place and making that decision. Like, business starts at all different stages. We're all on different paths, and someone can't watch this and be like, right, that's it. If I don't hit 28K in 12 months, I've gone to shit. Some people, it will take 3 years to get to that point. Other people, they might even be able to do it sooner. Who knows?
Yeah,
but you're only in control of your own circumstances.
Yeah. And I would say, don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Like, pay for coaching, pay for training, pay for sales training, pay for agency training, pay for communities. Like, it's my investment in myself always has gave me 10x returns, right? And so that's another thing. It's like, don't be afraid to invest in yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Cool, man. Do you want to chill any social channels at all where people can come and follow your journey, or would you prefer to stay private, or what's your situation?
You can follow me everyone can follow me on Instagram. I mean, Winston W Churchill not at, that's my, don't email me. Winston W Churchill on Instagram. I don't do a ton of I don't talk too much about SMMA over there, but maybe I will if people reach out. So We'll see.
Cool, man. Okay, sweet. Well, we'll check in and maybe do another video when you hit that 50K at the end of Q2, or maybe that's too soon. Maybe we'll check in on 100K at the end of Q4 at the rate that you're going. So
that's the goal.
Nice. Thanks, Winston. Talk soon.
Talk to you soon.
Cool, mate. That was good.
Great.
Perfect. That's all we need.
Awesome.
Nice. Can I add any value to you right now?
Who would you, if you're in my position, who would you hire next? Like,
onboarding specialist structure then, so it's just appointment setters?
Yeah, just appointment setters right now.
So you've got how many active clients? How many clients do you think you can handle, or one person can handle, like media buying?
I mean, I could probably handle like maybe four or five more, but I'm getting to that point where it's, because also, like, if I am shooting, editing the ads, and then media buying and keeping track of KPIs and all that, like, it's a lot to handle. And so I think that's probably my next hire.
Yeah, definitely a media buy is the next hire. But you seem like you can handle a lot of clients, which is really good. But yeah, I'll 100% say a media buy at this point. but you might even be at the point where you need to get 2 media buyers in, because you kind of want to free yourself up from, I mean, it seems like you've got a decent amount of capital in the business. So like if you were to get 1 media buyer and you can only handle another 4 or 5 clients yourself, then like 1 media buyer might not be as good as you. And so they might only be able to handle the current clients you've got. So it might be worth considering getting 2 in so you don't have any bottlenecks. Because I also find that like those kind of roles, it can take you up to 4 weeks to get them in, you know, and then you're all of a sudden it's not going to take you long to be at your max capacity. So
yeah,
I would consider getting 2 in if I was in your position.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but you're probably right.
I mean, then you play them off each other as well. So I always find it's media buyers and setters and closers and all those kind of roles. It's good to hire 2 people because then they benchmark against each other and there's expectations between both.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And where do you think, like, where would you go about finding someone like that?
I would say the best thing to do is LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs is the best place to go, first of all. Just run like a $10 a day spend on it. Are you wanting to build like a local biz where you're going to have an office and everything one day, or do you want to be virtual?
Probably virtual. I mean,
Yeah.
I live in Los Angeles. Shit's expensive, so like an office might be a little much unless, you know, we are hitting those 100K plus months.
Yeah. Yeah. In which case, then you can probably hire from South America for the media buyer. Like Colombia is a good place to hire from.
Okay.
So I would consider that. And I would do LinkedIn Jobs and then send them through to a type form, or you could do a Google form. But yeah, don't let them apply through LinkedIn. You can choose to send them to an external URL, and I would just do it through to a type form. I believe there's already a media buyer type form in Agency Launch, so it's worth having a look at that. Yeah, if there isn't one, just drop me a message on Circle and I'll send one over to you. Because we've got one anyway. But yeah, definitely LinkedIn Jobs is like the best place to hire people. Like we hire everyone from there, and I was last week I did an Agency Giants podcast episode with an agency called they're called Social Shepherd. They're in the UK. They have 80 employees. Every single employee that they've hired is from LinkedIn Jobs as well. So at all stages, like you can find people from LinkedIn. It's massively like undertapped.
Okay, are they what, like, are they e-com or what do they do?
It's just a social media ad agency, not e-com. It's all sorts. It's basically, it's still lead gen as well, but they do brands. Yeah, but they're doing really well.
Cool.
They're going corporate.
Okay.
They just opened an office in New York actually as well.
Wow. Good for them.
Yeah.
All right, LinkedIn Jobs it is.
Yeah, that's the play. And if you need any support on it, just drop a message over and happy to give.
Will do. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Cool, man. All right. Well, I hope you have
a
nice
nice Jordan. Thanks for your time, man. Thanks for doing this. This was fun.
Yeah, thank you. We'll speak soon.
Definitely. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.